Ou deixa sua bunda ardendo, ou dá tapa, 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 cara.
Welcome to Empowerment Unleashed Now, exploring your inner authority. I'm Michele Jones.
And I'm Scott Collins.
And this is the place to connect with your highest, most essential self, your most empowered self, where you can explore your inner authority and learn from others and learn more about yourself.
We talk with fascinating people from all walks of life about transformation, healing, hypnosis, astrology, physical experience of being human, and heart-centered living.
We're so thankful that you're here with us. Let's dive right on in. Hi, and welcome to Empowerment Unleashed Now, exploring your inner authority. I'm Michele Jones, and I'm here with
Scott Collins. What's up?
Howdy, howdy, brother. I want to welcome everybody back. We are going to, as usual, explore consciousness. We're going to explore astrology and some deeper truths. But today's episode is the Great Conjunction of 2026. I can't even believe we're talking about this, but when reality shifts. And essentially, it's when reality dissolves, an illusion becomes reality. It's kind of like when illusion dissolves and truth becomes light. There's something magical that's happening right now with this 3i Atlas consciousness on our planet. And those of us that might be a little bit aware of what's going on might wonder, what are we listening to from NASA? What are we listening to from Stefan Burns, who's a great geophysicist who I highly encourage people to listen to? Right now, we're stepping into one of the most profound cosmic thresholds probably of our lifetime, which I find just fascinating that we're at this juncture. And the year 2026 is when Saturn and Neptune are going to unite. And and Uranus is going to form a really interesting relationship with Pluto, as well as its relationship in Gemini. There's going to be a lot, I would say, of opportunities for humanity to hit a turning point. And I think that we already are, which is why I think that these opportunities are being presented to us. Biologically, spiritually, culturally, technologically. It's the time when I think that the fabric of what we actually call reality is kind of beginning to shimmer. Almost like sunlight looks like on the water. There's some kind of shimmering that's going on here. And I think it's showing us, and you, my brother, will be far more on point to discuss this, but I think it's showing us that things were never solid at all. And this was always just a bunch of light in motion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to say, and then I want you to take the mic, bro, is that for a salient listener question today, this is something that I've been asking myself repeatedly throughout this Scorpio season is, what if reality isn't what you think it is, but what you feel, create, and believe into being?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, that harkens back to, I remember, I think right when Pluto went into Aquarius, I remember us having a little mantra that was feel it into existence. We no longer think it into existence. We feel it into existence.
Yeah.
So I feel like what you just said is an expansion of that, even more so.
Mm-hmm.
And a recognition that is the way. And I'm noting our notes here too about when those conjunctions happen. I think it says that's on February 20th, which is
February 20th.
Wildly 0 degree Pisces too. So both those planets are leaving Pisces as the the sun.
0 Aries, right?
Yeah, going there as the sun enters Pisces for really probably like a last. I am feeling it like you're talking about with the like dissolution right in front of us, but also like if anyone's ever tuned a guitar, if you've ever like there's a turn this when you pick it up and you hit the string, if it's kind of detuned and you you just turn that knob and you feel it tune up. That's how I'm really feeling and experiencing this personally right now, and that to me goes along with the symbol, the Aquarian symbol, where that is two wavelengths, one on top of one another, and being that we are in most mystics believe the dawn of the age of Aquarius, that is what we are all experiencing, and Three Eye Atlas is here assisting on that, but maybe it's not so much of a crossroads sounds like a divergence, like a fork in the road, but I feel like it's just the lenses are now coming on that we see that there is more than one road. It's not really like a fork, but you can tune your E string up to that other road. Crossroads, more like a high road than a crossroad.
Well, that's what I was going to say is the reason that the word cosmic, was in front of crossroads was really intentionally.
Yeah.
Because I think that cosmic, crossroads, it's a meeting place, if you will, between soul, science, a consciousness that's a galactic one. And I think that like matter and meaning are kind of shifting as well. And, Rick Levine, who's a great astrologer, and I want to give credit, he described this moment as an interference zone where high frequency waves collide to create the illusion of solidity. And I immediately thought of the waves of Aquarius.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I thought that we're living through a time here where all systems like that are physical, spiritual, emotional are in this huge recalibration period for, I don't even know, but in Scorpio, what's separating, what's fading? How deeply connected have you maybe always been to something? Like, what can't you really be without? Like, what really gets to stay and what just needs to go out with the tide,
Yeah.
There's an interesting place that it feels like we're in some middle of a universal, like, software update, if you will. And this Three Eye Atlas, I wanted to just like talk for a moment about, and I was thinking about you, bro, because Atlas and Atlantis and the relationship of Atlas to Atlantis, right? You have some like Atlantean connections, like memories for you from like a different timeline, aspects of you, multidimensional aspects of you. Do you get in that this like Three Eye Atlas has anything to do with Atlantean consciousness?
For sure. And that, as you know, we've had a lot of conversations about this. I haven't shared it in a lot of expansive detail yet on our podcast, but yeah, I've shared that I believe a certain percentage of us, at minimum 14% of us on Earth are here, like with this soul contract, with the main soul contract now to course correct the energy. How would I say it? Like the derailment that happened on Earth during that Atlantis timeline, and that this Pluto shifted into Aquarius, and then the collective shift following that is a big purpose. More people on Earth right now have that as their sole contract than any other number of people. And we all had these intuitions that as Uranus moved into Gemini, like something crazy might happen, right? There might be some wild technological thing. So without a doubt, I think it is, there's a connection there, and it is to help us correct the derailment that happened in Atlantis for a lot of us. That, and particularly that was the relationship with Pachamama, and then our fellow spirits, humans, and technology.
As well as other creatures that were.
Non-Earth sentient beings, non-Earthly sentient beings. Yeah.
And so, there's another connection that came to me, because I've really been, I've been intrigued by this, exceedingly intrigued. And I did not realize that Three Eye Atlas first entered our solar system in 2020. That was the first time that it entered.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of interesting, right? And so we know that in October, it was passing through like near our sun, right? And NASA says that it's the third interstellar object that's ever been discovered, like within our solar system, right? Muamua was like the second one. I don't know what the first one was called, but there was a first one. So that's why this is 3i. I thought it was kind of intriguing that Atlas also is the father of the Pleiades, of the seven sisters. And so I thought about light consciousness, because this comet does not seem to be following typical comet-like behavior in terms of like where the lights are, where the tail isn't, also the red and the blue and the pulsing, and it seems to actually appear almost like it maybe has a cosmic heartbeat. And scientists have called that a data anomaly. And so there's been just a myriad of anomalies. But if we were in Arizona and we were talking to a Hopi elder, they would tell us a very different story about the blue star Kachina and the celestial messenger that comes when we've forgotten our balance. And so the great purification to the Hopi might be beginning, and that right now this is the cleansing before the fifth world. And for me, I just thought that it was a really interesting thing, because I thought that the cosmos is like alive to so many indigenous cultures. And I feel like for us in particular, non-indigenous folks are actually connecting in ways that we're talking about the earth as a being. Like she has a soul and a purpose. And the sun has a soul. The sun has a purpose. Like these are like soul contracts. And I find this just a fascinating, mystical, like the cosmic reset that's happening just in our language of how we're kind of just dialoguing about this. I'm not sure, but I think that like Saturn and Neptune uniting, like the veil between illusion and reality is going to start to like kind of dissolve. And I think that's what the Hopi are talking about when they say the end of forgetting.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, and you know, me having memories of Atlantis could feel like child's play in that regard. You know, I mean,
Mm,
we start remembering all of those things, our other timelines and lives, but we're talking about, oh yeah, remembering
well,
that the planets are living, breathing being
yeah.
sentient beings. The stars are as well,
And I
and
think,
then the tiny molecules inside us are as well.
yes. Yes. And I think that's this whole cleansing and purification. It's not about punishment. None of this is about like that. I think that what it is it's about harmony.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about remembering the sacred connections that we have to land, to earth, to sky, to water, to source. Like, I believe that this great purification is all about rising within us a remembrance of our light bodies, of who we've been, who we are, who we will be, who we've always been in one multidimensional us. Like, I've always, and you know this, bro, we've talked about this, right? I don't know that past lives have ever felt accurate to me. And I think that when I listen to things like, you know, the Hopi and they talk about the remembrance, I think that it's the remembrance of the fractals that are dimensional versions of us.
Yeah, I almost remember Atlantis now. Like it's not like a past. It's like it's simultaneous. It's current. It's what it's an other option on the menu, as you like to put it,
Mhm.
currently before us. And now we're a big percentage of us choosing a different menu item in
Mhm.
front of us instead of choosing that Atlantis storyline.
I think that we're
Yeah.
choosing the purification of
Yeah.
empowerment
I
as
love that
opposed.
choice instead of punishment. I love that framing because I think for many, especially if there's a heavy, like maybe religious, unconscious upbringing, sometimes purification can be um, synonymous with punishment, sadly. But that I agree. Like we can allow for a different meaning of purification and different experience of it. Absolutely.
Because I think that when when we remember that we're participants and not victims, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this magical shift that happens in a connection to a resonance that within us is greater than us, but is also emanating from us.
Yeah.
And I just feel like in some ways that the great purification, if you will, of Earth, like that the Hopi talk about and Three Eye Atlas for some might be the coming of the blue star Kachina, right? Excuse me. I'm like really kind of choked up, but because the fifth world isn't some heavenly reward. It's actually heaven on earth. It's harmony.
Mm-hmm.
It's harmony on the planet. You know, it's we remember how to live in harmony with one another, with the earth, with all that she gives,
Mm-hmm.
and the galaxy and the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm wondering in this transformational time that we're in, the dissolution of reality. It's like this new world that's emerging. I kind of feel like we are in the birth canal. That's what's
Yeah.
so like strange about Scorpio season, but so apropos because we're in the waters of
Right.
birthing.
Well, Scorpio, yeah, the big zero, it is the birth canal. And that harmony that you're talking about starts with us inside ourselves first, right? The harmony within us, the universe inside us, that harmony established first. And then the harmony around us starts to take form, the light cells, the reality that we have now realized can be revised by how we feel it into existence. Totally.
Mm-hmm. And I think that some of the cosmic reset is that form is meeting formlessness. And I think that matter's meeting spirit. And I think a lot of people are kind of uncomfortable because watching a lot of things break down. So you're watching form go formless, right? In front of your very eyes. You're literally watching matter dissolve, right? Just become spirit, as I've talked about, my own friend passing, right? But matter to spirit, like this reset of some sort that we're going through, I feel like the mystery is being amplified astrologically and energetically in the most beautiful of ways, but also to be mindful that it's amplification. Right? So as much as we have kind of the wind beneath our wings, right? Like there's a new reality. We're kind of in the birth canal and all the water. And I think we're personally in some kind of dark water. Not kidding either. Just because.
Scorpio also, yeah. I mean, we are, especially right now. I know we're talking about early 2026, but we're doing this interview, in Scorpio season. So
yeah.
We are diving in deep in the dark water right now.
Like we're diving in deep.
And every day has a zero around it, a birth canal of, a portal of amplification or expansion or protection, whatever we need it for.
I think putting protection around things is a great idea because it's creating boundaries that, are distinctively helping you to authenticate who you are and who the collective is. And I think that distinction right now is a really profound transformational one.
Yeah, totally.
For sure to have.
And once we hit Aries in February, that being really hardwired is going to be very valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when the Aries energy gets on top of that.
So like the great conjunction of 2026, me, of course, being who I am, 23-degree Gemini rising, as I'm like straightening up the papers, I wanted to get a jump on this and start to talk about the shifting that we are already doing. And with that, when reality shifts and we kind of see illusion dissolving, I want people to really understand that there's a liberation from what's false. There's an integration, right? That your soul knows the truth. There's an integration of that going on. There's a grounding of those two above things through your body, okay? You then kind of harmonize it all with the earth and you transmit your light through actual action. And so like your job is to get your light on. Like that is what this is that's when reality shifts, it's shifting towards the light. Now, you can shift another way. No judgment. You can shift a lot of different ways. You can shift in the gray. You can shift in the light. You can shift in the dark. You could shift in the purple. You could shift in the cosmos. Like you can shift anywhere and everywhere. However, I would just suggest maximizing your light in your shift because nobody else can turn that on.
Yeah.
Nobody else. This conjunction, these opportunities for us to step in to our highest, greatest self, filled with love and purpose and opportunity. I'm just saying this is the great harmonic convergence of us with our highest selves.
Right. It is the one thing we can control every microsecond of our experience in this video game of Earth, too, is our light inside, right?
Yeah.
That is, and because, how we respond or react is the deal. You're right. But it's important to remember that, an action, sometimes just meditating and turning your light on is the action.
Yeah.
There doesn't have to be like a high intensity or aggressive action. It can be just turning your light on.
That's it. Like, yes, that's so beautiful, Scott.
Yeah. Sometimes we do have to be very physically active. We do. Or sometimes we have, my biggest challenge sometimes is to do it with my voice. I like to speak up and, or just to orate, to be the oracle. And sometimes that's the action, but sometimes it is just stillness, silence, and turning on your interior light.
Yes. Yeah. And with that, I have, believe it or not, Scott, 3 just closing affirmations that were super loving and simple and just these gentle reminders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I feel like these are just truths about us that we get to affirm within ourselves. You ready, my brother?
You want me to read them today?
Of course.
Okay, you got it. Let me pull them back up. Gentle is important for us all right now in this Scorpio season because we are each going through this. That's hard to remember sometimes. All right.
Everybody just wants to take a couple of deep breaths, settle in, let your higher self really come through as we begin.
I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I see through illusion and create through frequency. I anchor light through every change.
Until next time, our precious listeners, keep tuning your frequency because empowerment is truly now. Thank you so much. Much love to y'all.
Love you guys.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Empowerment Unleashed Now. Please subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and let us know how this helped you.
Join us right here every week for another episode.